Hey everyone, can you please get your attention for the rest of the event? We're about to start, so thank you very much. Well, it's my friend Will's first time using a microphone. How are you feeling over there?
I'm hanging in there. Yeah, thanks for checking.
That's awesome. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the Vikes Athletics and Recreation in this special morning. My name is Ada, and I'm a fourth-year student athlete doing my master's in public health with the Vikes women's rugby team.
And my name is Will. I'm a fifth-year Bachelor of Commerce student playing for the men's soccer team. As we get underway this morning, we would like to respectfully acknowledge that our school sits within the ancestral, unsurrendered, and unceded territory of the Songhees, Esquimalt, and Wasanich nations. Please join us in welcoming Elder Dr. Skip Dick to the stage.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Woo. I would say it's hello before coffee and good morning after coffee. The situation arose when my brother was looking after the Friendship Center. He said, "Okay, everybody off coffee." By the time 10 o'clock came along, almost a revolt. So, okay, everybody back on coffee. But anyway, top of the morning to you all. My name is, nickname is Skip. My traditional name is Lahichalach from the Songhees Nation. So I know my land and I know my family. I belong somewhere. And when we have a lot of foreign students come here, people are saying, how come you don't pronounce your like an English name? But all I do talk to them about is that, but you belong somewhere and your name is from your family. Appreciate it. That's where you belong. So it takes another turn, and the students that are coming here that do have those lengthy names and tongue twisters, but the appreciation from where they come from is turn them to back to their values and keeping their values, and not to saying that you got to change. You don't have to change. And more our young people are coming to university. After so many years that I've been working with education or involved with education on the sidelines, I've seen that initiative coming back to our communities, and would like to congratulate all our, not so much just congratulate, but really appreciate the instructors, the profs, the people right from the grade school up to the university, and instilling that desire for knowledge. I wish I could explain it to you, the appreciation that the people have at home. We used to have 24 university students way back in the 60s and 70s in the whole of BC. I don't know what about across Canada. But today we have thousands. That's coming out of the trades and coming out of the professions. The impact it has had on our community has been amazing. And to really extend my appreciation from our folks back home for making that small effort of, hey, yeah, you've got initiative, go ahead. So the impact there. The other thing is that we've had in our longhouses down in the harbor there, we had welcomed paddlers from all around the world would look after the security of our community first, but make sure that the paddlers were looked after, fed, rested, and more supplies, so they're on their way. And all I'm saying is that today we finally get to do the same kind of thing by welcoming people from all around the world. And I really appreciate it. But in behalf of our Sanghees, folks at home, welcome to our territory. Have a real good day.
Thank you so much for your blessings, Dr. Skiptic. We just wanted to give a kind reminder not to applause throughout the event. Thank you very much. So just keep going, please. I also want to take this time to acknowledge the Office of the Indigenous Academic and Community Engagement, who was consulted with the territory acknowledgements for our department. I attended the men's rugby game and Thunderfest, and it was great to hear the inclusion of the territory acknowledgement, as this is one of the stepping stones to reconciliation. This week, we joined Canada in observing Orange Shirt Day, a national movement that brings together Indigenous and non-Indigenous people in the spirit of hope and reconciliation. And it also honors former residential school students, their families, and communities. Orange Shirt Day will take place this Thursday, September 30th, which is also the inaugural National Day for Truth and Reconciliation in Canada. In recognition, the university campus will be closed on this day.
Welcome to the 14th Annual Vikes Championship Breakfast. We are so excited to be presenting at this iconic and important event. For the second year in a row, we are welcoming you virtually. While it's not the in-person event that we had hoped for, we are grateful to all of you who have decided to continue participating and sharing your morning with us. We hope that we can finally be back together in person for next year.
And at this time, we would like to thank our presenting sponsors, Minute Maid, Team Sales, Rogers Sports and Media, and RBC Royal Bank. Today's event would not be possible without your support. Since 2008, the Vikes Championship Breakfast has raised over $6.7 million for student athletic scholarships. This mic, am I just too tall maybe? This money helps recruit, retain, and allow student athletes to train and compete at the highest level of university sports in our country.
With competition canceled in 2020, the past year was undeniably the most difficult for student athletes to date. Despite these challenges, there were many bright spots and silver linings.
The past year taught us that team is everything. We grew closer with our teammates, developed bonds with our coaches, and truly became a family. We learned how to find motivation from within when the future looked so uncertain. We learned that we love our fans, signing autographs for mini Vikes, and that we miss them when they were not around. That I can attest to. Amongst it all, we also learned to appreciate the gifts we have as varsity student athletes.
The ability to persevere through a season without competition was in large parts thanks to you, the generous supporters who helped make this gift a reality. Despite the many challenges, there is some good news. We are back to live competition, back doing what we love, and we couldn't be more excited about it.
For decades, Vikes have been representing Canada on the international stage at the Olympic and Paralympic Games, including several of our varsity coaches who attended this morning. In 2021, we finally got to see a number of Vikes compete at the postponed Tokyo Olympic Games. In fact, 20 Vikes showcased their talent in Tokyo, bringing home gold and bronze medals in women's rowing, as well as a whole lot of pride. Today's keynote speaker not only represented the Vikes in Tokyo, but he also captained the men's rugby team and represented Canada as the Olympic flag bearer.
These are all examples of how your support today and over the past 14 years allow Vikes student athletes to be trailblazers in their sport. That is something that we believe sets the Vikes above so many other Canadian universities.
And to speak more about our amazing institution and bring greetings on behalf of the University of Victoria, we would like to invite President and Vice Chancellor Kevin Hall to say a few words.
Yeah, no applause. Yeah. So, well, thanks, Ada and Will, and good morning, everybody, and welcome to, well, my first live Vikes Breakfast 2021. I wanted to start off by expressing my gratitude to Dr. Skip for the words of welcome. In fact, Skip, for everything you've done for this university, you've really made a huge impact on the University of Victoria, so thank you. And I'd also begin by acknowledging land and language and pay my respects to the Lekwungen peoples on whose traditional territory the university stands, the Songhees, Esquimalt, and Wasanich people, whose traditional relationship continues to today. And I'd like to pay my respect to elders past and present, and Skip, to you, commit that this university is really focused on decolonizing in a meaningful way for the local Indigenous peoples. And also that we're going to embrace and use the framework that UNDRIP gives us to make sure we work towards self-determination. So hopefully you'll see the pace of change increase. I'm really delighted to be in front of people. I've been 10 months on this campus. It's been very lonely. Apart from my really good colleagues in the Michael Williams building, there's been very few people on campus, but seeing all the excitement that students have come back has been absolutely fantastic. And so I'm glad we could hold this event. It's not perfect. It's not everybody here live, but we've got, I do the math, what is it, 6 times 8, 48 people in this room or so. And I think there's people online. Is that the case? Yeah. Yeah. Should we say hello? It's really important. It's really important we don't forget the people online, because everybody here is a big supporter of the Vikes programs, and that's fantastic. And so this is my second Vikes breakfast. In fact, my first job at UVic, in my first morning when I was sitting in a hotel, was a quarantine, it's called. I was in quarantine for like 2 weeks. My first event was the Vikes breakfast last year, so it's great that it's the second event on this particular Tuesday of October, September. Man, I tell you, the time's just like flying. Anyway, you know, since my first Vikes breakfast, what really has struck me is meeting the athletes, and Will and Ada and all the athletes in the room really epitomize UVic students. You know, this real hard work ethic, participating in sports, but also, you know, you're exceptional students as well. And I think the thing that really strikes me is how nice you all are. Like, seriously nice, pleasant to talk to, you're articulate, you're worldly, and you really understand what's important in this world. And I think that's something that's really unique to the athletes at UVic. So congratulations to all of you as athletes. And I went to the soccer game on Thunderfest with Jim. And Jim and I were in the stands, you know, having fun. We watched the soccer a little bit, but it was just amazing, actually, just talking to all the students and student athletes that were there. And it just makes me feel really, really proud of this institution that I've only worked at for a year now, but I'm really proud of that. Our students themselves are, you know, really represent the university well with their incredible excellence on the field, in the gym, on the court, whatever venue it is. Oh, in the pool, I shouldn't forget, because I used to be a swimmer. But it is amazing that they're high performers in the classroom as well. We don't give a free ride here at UVic for our student athletes. They work really hard and quite often are at the top of their class. So well done, everybody. So you're just a remarkable group of young adults and leaders. And I just wanted to, you know, commend you for your dedication. So thanks for a few minutes this morning to speak. I know you can't applaud or else you'd all be standing up and clapping wildly. But I also want to just point out, behind all of our students' achievements, of course, is a whole big team. And so coaches, of course, and teachers, professors, administrators, but also all of you watching as well, the people that give to this program. Your generosity in supporting the Vikes is absolutely incredible. So thank you, everybody. And a big shout out to the event team today as well. It's pretty tough getting an event going in a pandemic, not knowing whether you're going to hold the event or not. It's a really big challenge. So congratulations to that team. And I look forward to hearing from our speakers this morning, particularly from our keynote speaker, Nathan Hirayama, who lived that experience in Tokyo. So enjoy the rest of the morning. And, here comes the interactive session now, right? So you guys have all been sitting there. So I'm going to say, go Vikes, and you're going to repeat after me, right? So, yeah, go Vikes! Go Vikes! Go Vikes! Go Vikes! Go Vikes! Go Vikes! God, you guys are pathetic. So quiet. Anyway, thanks, everybody.
Thank you, President Hall. I must say you're a pretty funny man.
We would now like to welcome the Director of Varsity Performance Sport, Dr. Nick Clark, to bring his remarks to the stage.
Morning, everybody. I've had the good morning. Yeah, good morning. I've had the pleasure of following Dr. Hall, Kevin, a few times now, and it's not good. I was fine until you sat there. You're way too charming and way too humorous, so I apologize. But I'd just like to say, this is my first Vikes Championship Breakfast live. Last year I did it with a prompt in front of me. It was a bit nerve-wracking. I'm holding on to this plinth really hard so you don't see it shaking. But it's because how important it is. So I want to thank everybody online, everyone across the world who's watching, everyone across Canada, and everyone in here. It's so important. And we really, really thank you all for your support. Honestly, without you and your support, we couldn't do what we do. Simple as that. So thank you, thank you. What I'd like to do today is obviously this version of events is new. And as Will mentioned, we've had a lot of change over the last few years, but we've also got a lot of new things in our department, new exciting things happening. So I'd like to introduce our new coaches. We have Carrie Watts, our new basketball coach, and Diane, our assistant coach as well. We have Scott Manning over there at the back, our new rugby coach. And we've also got Jane and Rebecca. Jane's our head coach, Rebecca, assistant coach. So I really like to welcome them to this event. This is their first one as well, so have fun. And I'd also like to welcome Catherine Bryan, sitting right here, our new Associate Director, Student Support and Student Compliance. And what I'd like to say is that those positions, all those positions, particularly Catherine's in terms of student support, just emphasizes, again, how important the university finds student athletes and the support for student athletes. So again, thank you for your support. In terms of challenges, there's been a lot. I honestly, when I signed up for this job, it literally wasn't the same job when I got in the post. I'm really excited to have sport back. That's why I do it. I'm passionate about sport. And the challenges still remain. COVID is still around, and I just want to thank everyone, particularly the student athletes, for their professionalism. Now they've handled it. It's so excited. Thunderfest was unbelievable. We've had some exhibition games. Our sports kicked off. We've got rugby going. We're going to have all the other sports going relatively soon. It's really exciting to see the atmosphere there, and that's why I took this job, to see these young people perform. And again, your money, your support is the reason why we can do it. And if you think about the Olympics, that was my previous career, how exciting it was, and to see the Vikes. The best thing about the Olympics, in my opinion, is the people and the stories behind it. And when you know people, it's way more authentic and it's way more exciting to watch. And seeing our Vikes, Nathan is going to talk in a second, that excitement of competition, there's all the Paralympics and the Olympics. It was awesome just through the summer, knowing that come September, hey, guess what? We're off, we're going to kick off. So I'm really excited to hear Nathan. And then the other part of it is, people ask me a lot, and what is success? And for me, it's really hard to quantify success, particularly short term. And I'd argue that success is something that we only see when our Vikes graduate, when they become parents, when they become coaches, leaders, ambassadors. You don't see success of this program until way down the line. And when you see people sitting in this room are former Vikes. So that's why sport's important to me. This program is important to create ambassadors and leaders like Will and Adar, doing a great job. Okay. So again, thank you. Thank you for your support. Without that, we wouldn't be able to provide this learning medium of sport. So I haven't got anything funny to say at the end. Sorry, Kevin. But I'd just like to thank everyone once again. It's almost beyond words in terms of the support. But thank you. Enjoy your breakfast. Thanks to everyone online. And that's it. No applause. We're good.
Thank you, Nick. I know you pretty personally, not pretty personal, but I would say you're also pretty funny. So
It's become a tradition with these breakfasts over the years that a prominent member of the Vikes alumni family comes back to speak with us about their journey before, during, and after their time with the Vikes. Before we hear from today's special guest, we would like to acknowledge our keynote presentation sponsors, Royal Bank. Thank you for your ongoing support and helping make this breakfast possible.
And this year, we are so pleased to have Nathan Hirayama as our keynote speaker. Nathan grew up in Richmond, BC, where he got his start to his rugby before making his way to the University of Victoria to play for the Vikes men's rugby program. During his all-star career with the Vikes, Nathan also represented Canada on the international stage as a member of the Canadian national 15s and 7s teams. Nathan was the youngest player to ever play for the Canada Sevens at the age of 18 and was first named captain at 22. Now that's pretty impressive. Since then, Nathan has attended 2 Rugby World Cups, including the 2020 Commonwealth Games in Delhi, India, and was a gold medalist at the 2011 Pan American Games in Guadalajara. This year, he led Canada to its first ever appearance at the Olympic Games, co-captaining the team and carrying the Olympic torch in Tokyo.
Announcing his retirement from professional rugby just weeks ago following the Olympics, Nathan leaves the sport as Canada's all-time leading scorer, standing 3rd on the World Series all-time scoring list. His father, Gary Hirayama, represented Canada in the 1980s, winning 12 caps as a fly half for the national team. Together, they're the first ever rugby-playing father-son duo for Canada.
Now, isn't that cute? We're so excited to announce Nathan Hirayama as our 2021 keynote speaker. Take it away, Nate.
Hi everyone, my name is Nathan Hirayama. I'm very honored to be here today to be a part of the Vikes Championship Breakfast. It's such a special event. It's such a memorable event for me as a UVic student. I remember, serving up coffee and dishing up plates there with my teammates. Back in the day, it must have been the first couple of years. It was an event, such a fun event, but such an important event. A little bit about myself. I'm a rugby player, UVic Vikes alumni, rugby player at UVic, and grew up in Richmond, BC. Both my parents were teachers in Richmond. I have a sister who's a better athlete than me. I won't deny that at all. Better athlete than me for sure. But I grew up playing all the sports. I grew up playing soccer, baseball, basketball, hockey, all the sports. My dad was a rugby player before I was around, but he played on the national team. So I knew about rugby. Didn't really care for it, to be honest, until I went to high school. I went to this high school with a really strong rugby culture, and I just fell in love with rugby there. And once that happened, I just thought, geez, I need to play this game at however I can. I want to pursue it and try to play at the highest level. And in Canada, for me at that time, it was going to university to play. And for as long as I can remember, university was something I wanted to go to and I really wanted to do. I remember saving, all my birthday card money and all those things in a university fund, stowed away until I decided to go to university or until I got into university, whatever university that may be. But I didn't know what university that was going to be. But I just knew it was going to be an experience I wanted to have. And to be honest, I didn't know anything about the University of Victoria until I was about halfway through my senior year in high school. When I met Doug Tate, I met him at a rugby tournament. And after that conversation, I just thought, wow, what a great guy. And I started hearing about this more and more about this program. And there was kind of this buzz about what was going on over there on the island. And I remember going back to my parents' house, using their old family computer, and Googling the UVic Vikes rugby team. And I remember seeing the roster, and it was all these names that I'd seen on TV, and I was a bit of a fan of all of them. To be honest, the whole team was national team guys. I couldn't believe they were at the University of Victoria, and I couldn't believe that it was a potential for me to go there and learn from them and be around them, because I looked up to them so much. But a classic issue for me, just like so many high school age students, is just being able to afford moving out of your house to go to university. Although I'd been saving since I was young, just being able to afford rent and food, and just to move out at that age, it's a tough thing for a kid when they're that age. So when I received a phone call from Doug, must have been April or May of my senior year, that I was being offered a scholarship to go to UVic, that phone call changed my life. And no doubt in my mind, that phone call and that scholarship was offered to me because of people like yourselves and events like the Vikes Championship Breakfast. That really made the difference in me being able to make that leap over to the island. And after that, so many different things changed in my life. The university experience is such a unique one, and it's such a fun one, especially when you play sports. I had a lot of friends on different Vikes teams while I was at UVic, and we all had this same kind of, although we were playing different sports, we all had the same kind of sense of what we're doing is special and this is so fun. And just those years of your life, they're so impactful in so many ways. You do so much growing up. There's so many amazing experiences, and you make so many friends. So many of my best friends were from those years at UVic. And for me personally, UVic, I didn't realize it before I came over, but the national team was based on the island. So because of me being able to go to UVic, I made the national team at quite a young age. And then after that, so many other things happened for me. I got to travel the world, playing this game that I loved. I got to play in front of play in all these cool stadiums and all these things that I only dreamt of as a kid. And, being able to go to the Olympics this past summer was kind of the icing on the cake for me. And it was just a dream, something that I didn't even dream of as a young kid. But all these things kind of stemmed from that phone call from Doug, from that scholarship that I was offered because of people like yourselves. So I just have to say a massive thank you to everyone who's on this call at the moment, all the donors, all the sponsors, all the alumni. You're making such a huge impact in so many athletes' lives. And, I know that there will be so many people who will get to have that university experience and their lives will change because of your generosity. So I just got to say a massive thank you to you for supporting UVic Vikes Athletics and just sports in general. It's such a special and important thing. I just have to give a huge shout out for Doug Tate for that phone call and for that scholarship. Changed my life. So thanks so much, Doug. And also congratulations to you and Rick on officially retiring. You guys have made such a massive impact on the rugby community and in so many people's lives. Not just rugby players, everyone who's around either of you. You've had a massive impact on their lives. So thank you guys so much. Also got to give a shout out to Scott Manning, the new head coach of the UVic Vikes rugby team. Scotty, all the best with everything over the next number of years. I look forward to supporting you and the team going forward. And yeah, thanks so much for having me. Go Vikes, go.
Oh, Nathan couldn't have said it any better. Just how impactful those scholarships have helped all athletes and continue to help us to this day. So we just want to say thank you, Nate, for sharing your journey with us this morning. And for sure, we have no doubt that your sister is a better athlete. Of course she is. It's also so awkward seeing you working from home, because most of us have only seen you working from a 100-meter long and 70-meter wide rugby field. So we wonder how retirement is treating you these days. Also, how is remote work going? We just want to know, like you can kind of tweet that out to us or send it through our good friend Larissa, who's worked so hard on this event. But on a serious note, it was really inspiring to hear your story and how events like the championship breakfast have impacted you and your athletic career in such a positive way.
Now we would like to share a special thank you. Today's student athlete thank you video is sponsored by Team Sales and Rogers Sports and Media.
In the quiet, the still, behind closed doors, when nobody is watching, without cheers from the crowd, when uncertainty is the only certainty. We dream, we plan, we focus. We rise and fall. We push harder. We pull together. We keep working toward the dream, even when the dream feels distant. We wait for the lights, the noise, the crowd, when the doors open again. We know you're there, supporting our vision. We thank you for being a part of our team, for letting us dream, for being there when we need you most, and for believing in our future. Thanks to your support, we are Vikes.
Wow, what a cinematic masterpiece. I knew you, Vic, had some great athletic talent, but I think some of us might have a career in acting once we retire from athletics. So Ada and I have generously put together a list of acting agencies that you can find on the entrance of CARSA. We hope you can put them to good use. We are extremely proud to announce that this breakfast has now generated more than $580,000.
And just because the breakfast is over, doesn't mean donations have to stop. We're still accepting donations, so bring them on.
To end things off this morning, we would like to welcome Associate Director of Sport Compliance and Student Support, Catherine Bryan, to close the breakfast with a few words.
But not too soon, Karen. Before we let you go, we would like to give a big thank you to our proud sponsors for today's event. Thank you so much for your time today. And while it has been an honor emceeing today with my new friend, Will, I hope our banter left you feeling refreshed to take on the rest of your week. Thank you.
And now, Catherine.
Thank you both, and thank you for letting me end the day off. As they mentioned, my name's Catherine. I'm the new Associate Director of Sport Compliance and Student Support. Been here a short 2 months, but I think just watching this video and being around varsity athletics again just kind of brings me back to when I got to play, and was exciting to kind of see that again. And the video was inspirational to, I think, for a lot of us here who got to play sport at some point in our lives, that's why we're all here. So I'm just here to say some thank yous for joining us for the 14th Annual Vikes Championship Breakfast. In my short time here, I was able to witness the incredible team who made this all come together. So I'm here to extend the thank yous to them. So to start, and as many have already mentioned, our incredible event sponsors, Team Sales, RBC, Minute Maid, Rogers Sports and Media, and to those who are from those organizations who have joined us today, thanks for being in attendance. Our Vikes Championship Breakfast Committee, Larissa McKinley, Leah McDonough, Darushka Pile, Marissa Bentley, Annie Tall, Christine Kaur, Gail Milliken, and more. To the U Club and staff for hosting us at this great venue. Thank you so much. To our event speakers, Dr. Skip Dick, thank you for acknowledging our event. To President Kevin Hall, thank you for your comedic welcome this morning. And sorry to Nick Clark for having to follow your comedic entrance, but you were great as well. To our keynote speaker, Olympian and Vikes alumni, Nathan Hirayama, what a great message on how valuable all of your support is. Finally, to our MCs, Ada and Will, thank you so much again for your comedic banter. It's great for you to host this event to let us all know why we're all here, and for leading this event and representing the whole Vikes community and your leadership. And lastly, to the University of Victoria for committing to some matching funds for us today. While COVID didn't allow us to operate our event in its normal capacity, your ongoing support of our varsity program through COVID has been instrumental in keeping our athletes engaged and our programs thriving. Vikes Athletics and Recreation prides ourselves on providing the best student athlete experience, and your support here today allows us to do that. So this is the end of our live stream, so thank you to everyone who joined us virtually. And once again, on behalf of Vikes Athletics, thank you for attending the 14th Annual Vikes Championship Breakfast.